We just spent our life feeling that we are not enough, that there is something always missing, and we don't realize that what we are living right now is just the manifestation of a dream or something we planned back in our past. Our present is just our past being manifested. Hello and welcome again to this podcast. If this is your first time here, I'm Lis, and I'm so happy that you are here. Today I'm going to share a story with you. And this is something that happened a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago. And it was the first time I realized that someone copied one of my most famous tattoos. I had many tattoos copied over the last years, but this one especially hits differently. And it's mainly because this was a very kind of personal, close tattoo to me, because it was a tattoo that I designed for my boyfriend, and maybe around 4 or 5 years ago. And it was after a travel that we made to the Amazon jungle. He grew up in the Amazon, and we did a travel there for the first time together. So it was so amazing to see all the different kind of plants that he was so connected to them from his childhood. So when we came back to our home, I decided that I wanted to make a tattoo for him that felt really meaningful. He didn't even know that I was designing that tattoo for him. I just created the design in a way that I felt that it was going to be amazing. And then I just showed it to him, and he immediately loved it, and he accepted to get it tattooed. And it's very interesting because I have very clear which tattoos I have made that were projects that brought me to a different level in my career. For instance, in 2022, I did my first full body line freehand project. And I know that was the project that started my path to start making all the freehand lines. And this project with my boyfriend, it was the project that I started to make with this kind of thick lines and longer pieces around the legs, arms. And 2 years ago, once I got a message from a random guy in Instagram, and he shared the profile of a guy who copied exactly the same design that I did for him. Everything is the same. The only thing that he changed was the style that he used, because he is mostly a realism artist. So it was a difference in the performance of it, but still it was the same design. And it's pretty interesting because I've also been that kind of artist that get kind of angry and feel threatened when someone's copied their work. But this time it hits completely different. I didn't feel robbed. This time I felt proud. How can you be proud when someone is stealing your work? You will say it, and that's what most people think. But for me, it was different because I'm from a very, very small town in Colombia. Very, very small town. It's like a really small village that we would just have 3 main streets, and that's it. It's not the same trying to create an art career or try to be an internationally recognized artist when you are from a third world country that when you are in the USA or in Europe. It's not the same. The effort that it takes to create a career, to be recognized worldwide and everything is way more difficult. And for years, I used to look at so many artists here in Europe and in the US that I admire them so much. But I always saw them so out of my league. But then in the last years, I've been going to the studios of those artists that I used to admire, And now I work with many of them. Some of them even are close friends. Some others I realize they are not the kind of people that I want to have any kind of relationship. But now I experience my career from a completely different perspective. When this being copied for a guy, you know, the guy lives in Iran. I mean, my tattoo was copied in Iran. A tattoo I designed for my boyfriend who grew up in the Amazon jungle with specific plants from the Amazon jungle. That tattoo is I mean, it's not just a design, it's an statement. It was copied by a person in Iran that probably he will never see in his life these plants. He just copied because he liked it. And that's completely valid as well. But the thing with this is like when I got that new and I saw myself in perspective, knowing that I'm from this very small town in Colombia and a person like in the completely other side of the world now has a design that I made in their body and they just make the decision to copy it because they like it and they feel connected with it. For me, that was like, wow. And I feel like in this reality that we have right now, like especially with social media, that we are used to like those huge numbers of views, and that we have like so much reach in so many places in the world that we have never even been. We just normalize these kind of things when they are actually so extraordinary. I feel that that's one of the reasons that sometimes we just spend our life feeling that we are not enough, that there is something always missing. And the thing is, like, we don't realize that what we are living right now is just the manifestation of a dream or something we planned back in our past. I mean, our present is just our past being manifested. Having this kind of reach, having clients all over the world, be able to travel, to have like, I don't know, like so many experiences and connect with so many different kind of people. It's amazing. But the thing is, like, sometimes we just take for granted all those things. And sometimes we don't take the time to actually like stop and being thankful for everything we have achieved because we just keep raising the bar that we use to measure our goals, our achievements, all the things that we do with our careers, with our life. So even that right now we are living our dream, we are just like so focused in the future, in our next goal, that we don't take the time to actually enjoy and be present with our full self in the thing that we are doing right now. So when I knew that somebody copied my work in the other side of the world for myself, I just felt so proud. I mean, I never imagined that that could be me. I mean, most of the people I know, most of the people I learned to tattoo with are mostly people that they just stayed in their comfort zone, that they never try to make something different, that they are so afraid to commit or focus in their own style because they are always just doing everything from fear. And they are just thinking all the time what happened if maybe I say no to this client or to this project and then I don't have another client or another project. So they are always doing everything from fear, from scarcity, and that's the way they create everything they do. For me, being able to do things differently and to be able just to put myself out there and to believe that I could achieve much more than I used to have. And then having this kind of confirmations of my work reaching like those places and those people, for me is like, wow, like it's me. It's me who is doing this. It's me who is like getting there. It's me who is right now in this place and at this level of my career where I never imagined it was possible. I have some conversations in the past, and also, of course, I see like what other artists share out there when they realize a person copy their work and that is doing something pretty similar. And I just see this mindset sometimes of scarcity, and we don't realize how amazing it is that we can keep creating. I mean, like, for not every artist out there, for not every tattoo artist or creator or whatever, is that simple to come out with new ideas. But for some of us, we don't experience that fear of the white page or the white canvas. I mean, what's the problem with someone out there copying our work? Yeah, if you think about money, that you are not getting clients or whatever, that's not true. I mean, there are so many people in this world that there is clients for all people that want to just become a tattoo artist or that want to start creating. And it's just take us out of our comfort zone. Like when we have more people out there doing similar things, it kind of like put us in a place where we have to like go deeper and look deeper and actually ask ourselves how we can make it different, because otherwise we just get too comfortable and we just keep doing what works, but it doesn't mean that you are growing or that you are exploring yourself or that you are actually living from your full potential. A couple of years ago, I read a book that is called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And she talks a lot about creativity and ideas and how they work. And it's pretty interesting because she kind of said like, you know, like ideas, it's like this kind of energy that they are kind of like flowing all the time around us, and they are like all the time like flying around, all people waiting to someone to bring them to like real life. And sometimes we have ideas, they're just kind of waiting for like make them real, and we never do. So these ideas, they need to be done, they need to be materialized. And so she talks about like a concept that is like that every time that we share with someone, we are also kind of like passing those ideas and sharing those ideas that are waiting there for the ideal person that actually can make them true. And she talks about an experience that happened to her with another writer that I don't remember like if they share in real life or what happened, but she said that one day she read like a book that this person was writing or just released. And it was exactly an idea that she also had for many years, waiting in her mind. And she was developing. I mean, she was writing it, and she never actually shared it with anybody. But then this other writer came with exactly like with the book that she always like thought that she needed to write. Same ideas, like kind of like very similar characters. And she was so surprised because she knew that she never shared that idea with anyone. And sometimes I see that as well in my work. Sometimes I go to different studios, I share with different artists, they see what I do, or I share ideas with them or whatever. And then a couple of months after, I see them that they start bringing kind of similar things I do in my work into their work. And sometimes you can like really tell, like, yeah, like this person started to make this exactly this way after they met me. And for some people, that's a threat. But for me, I mean, I don't go behind all the people that I see that start doing similar things, just kind of like with hate. And I mean, it doesn't work like that. There is a space for everybody. And then we have to know also how creativity works. Creativity is like having a water well that it has some water down there, right? And then you go every time to take some water out of there. And you just take and take and take and take. But actually, the water well is not filling from anywhere. So at some point, that water is going to be done. That place is going to be empty. So for creativity, it's the same. We need to keep bringing new ideas. We need to keep bringing like the right kind of content that nourish our creativity, because otherwise that wall is going to be dry, is going to be empty. And sometimes we just spend so much time in our career just taking from our creativity, but we don't put the right content there to create more, to nourish more. And that's very important, because what we need to choose very wise the content that we consume, what we listen, what we watch, what we read, the conversations we have with the people we share time with, because from those sources is where we are going to get our ideas. And that's what will keep us creating more and more and more. So every time I see that somebody copies something that I do, I just feel like, okay, like I need to keep feeding myself with new things so I can create new things. It is very important also to ask ourselves, from where are we creating? Are we creating just because we want to sell? And because of that, we are only following trends and seeing what is selling better? Or actually, are we creating from a place of joy, of abundance, from a place that we actually see what we put out there and we see, like, wow, I did that? I think that that's not the reality for everybody. And sometimes when we are just living our lives, our creative careers from scarcity, that we put all our financial stress on our creative projects, that then every time that we don't sell, that we don't get enough money, that we don't get enough clients, and on top of that, somebody copy our work, then we just feel so much rage, so much hate, so much frustration, that we feel that the other person is guilty for our situation, for us not having enough clients, for us not charging well. We feel that because people are copying what we do, that's the problem, and that's not the problem. I mean, like, people only copy what they actually admire. I know, like, most people don't feel it that way, but you wouldn't copy something that actually you don't believe in or that you don't like. And most of us, we copy. I mean, we take inspiration from nature, from different art movements, from painters, from like so many kind of mediums out there, botanical, scientific illustrators. Of course, the idea is not to just copy and paste something, but like take all the elements that feels like something that actually make you feel something, and kind of bring it together to create something that feels more unique. But we all copy, we all take inspiration from other things out there. And most of us, especially in the tattoo industry, I feel that it's so easy to see so many artists doing the same, exactly the same, because they are all consuming the same kind of content. They are all going through Pinterest and finding the references there. So, of course, it's very, very easy and very simple that if you are all getting the same kind of information, you are all going to create something that is pretty similar. And like sometimes we forget that we are also kind of exploring the same medium. We are all tattooing the skin. We are all using the same techniques. And in a way, all the techniques that we can apply into a tattoo, they are kind of limited. So of course we are always going to find similarities. The difference is going to be just something that is more personal, that bringing or using different elements in a way that feels more yours. But we all have similarities. And I mean, even that when we started, most of us, we used to take the work of another person and try to replicate and try to make it as similar as possible. That was the way that many of us learned. We shouldn't feel that like threatened by someone else copying our work. I mean, we just need to realize that if right now we are in a point in our careers that somebody else want to copy what we do, it also means that we are actually doing something good. That probably right now we became that kind of artist that we used to admire. That right now our work looks the way that we used to admire in other artists. And we have to be so grateful for our creativity, for having all those ideas, to be able to create, to express, to explore, and to also be a channel. Because I think that especially being a tattoo artist, or if you create any kind of art that actually help other people to express their emotions, we are just channels. We have kind of like different kind of skills, and we have like at this medium, whatever it is, for me are tattoos, that we are just putting there in service for other people that don't have the same abilities that we have to express themselves. So at some point, being a tattoo artist, it stops being personal. Because yeah, of course we get like we feel proud to see what we create. We feel proud every time that we do something beautiful, and it's like, wow, I did that. I still get that feeling. But in the moment that you create from a person's experience, a story, something that they want to recreate from themselves, it stops being about you and starts being about the person. You are just taking everything that you have, everything that you know how to do it, and you just put your best on it in order to provide or help that person to express what they need to express in the best possible way. So in my case, I just feel that. I just feel that I'm a channel for other people to express and explore themselves. And I'm very grateful to be able to do that. Because also it takes so much like ego and responsibility for me. Like I don't feel anymore like this is about me, like showing up and becoming the best artist. And no, I don't feel it anymore like that. I just keep doing this from love, and I just try to find more ways where I can create a sustainable career, that I can create balance between my daily life and the things that I'm passionate about, and this service that I provide for other people. I'm just sharing this because this is a reminder that we need to be more present, and that it's important to take a moment of our lives, of our careers, in whatever we are doing, to actually acknowledge all those things that we have achieved, that we are doing, that probably we haven't stopped to realize that we came this far, that we did all this that we didn't imagine that it was possible to make them real. So I just invite you to ask yourself, what's the win you let pass by without thanking yourself for it because you were already looking at the next step? Yeah, this is just a reminder to be grateful for everything we do every day with our lives, with our careers, with our creativity, and just create from abundance. You don't have to be like all the people out there that are starting to be tattoo artists or photographers or whatever. We need to stop feeling that everything out there is a threat, because it's not. And some of us, if we are able to create from joy, from abundance, from presence, I mean, just be grateful. And if you go to Pinterest and see your work there that somebody else did something very similar, or even copy completely what you did, just be proud of yourself. Because probably the version of yourself 5 years ago never imagined that you at some point were going to be the person that was being copied. So that's it. That's everything I have to say for today. Thank you so much for being here. This is my third episode, and in English, of course. If you speak Spanish, you can still go to the different platforms and listen all the episodes that I have recorded in Spanish. And yeah, thank you for sharing this space with me. And if this episode resonated with you, if there is something here that you find valuable, just please share it with someone, and it will help me a lot to reach more people, especially at this point that I'm starting. I would love to know what you think about it. So if you want to leave a comment or just come to my social media, to Instagram, to say hello and to share me your thoughts, I will be really, really happy to read you. So thank you, and see you next week again in a new episode. Bye.